Today I'm going to share with you how using crystals can increase your intuition and psychic abilities. I'm going to show you exactly which one you should use and how to put it to use. This is an amazing tool to add to your toolbox, and if you're anything like me, you probably are drawn to crystals for that very reason. If you're drawn to spiritual things, if you started your spiritual awakening, this is just something that kind of naturally happened for me. The energies that crystals bring are such a subtle energy to the untrained person. They just seem like a rock sitting there, although they're very pretty, and that's why lots of people are drawn to them. My children always love to have them. They're excited by the colors and how pretty and the shapes. However, when you start developing your intuition and you feel them, you touch them, you look at them, you spend time around crystals, those subtle energies start to bring big shifts. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. I have lots and lots of crystals around my house in different places for different purposes. And today we're just going to talk about developing intuition. If there are specific aspects of crystals that you want me to share information on, put that in the comments below so I can make sure to make some videos about that. Before I had any understanding of crystals, their purpose, how to use them, I would see them around in different shops. I was always drawn to the New Age store, but I didn't understand how to use them and how I always function with crystals. And I was walking around in the New Age store or even at the museum, the Natural History Museum, and they have lots of crystals there. Again, I was drawn to the colors, the shapes, and just the mysteriousness of them, and just absolutely drawn to the crystals. And as I started my spiritual development, I started seeing YouTube videos and teachers talking about the properties that these crystals have, but I couldn't really understand how that worked, right? They are rocks. They are part of the earth and they have a really good grounding effect. And so I could get on board with that, but I couldn't understand how it would help you develop any kind of abilities. One day I was in the shop and I was going to buy a crystal. It was a given. I walked in and I had the intention I was going to buy a crystal, and I was walking around the store trying to figure out which one I wanted. And I think it was this particular rock actually that just started calling my name. It was kind of on top of a pile of other labradorite crystals and just kind of feeling and drawing to me. And I picked it up and I held it in my hand. Again, this does have a very nice feel to it. It has a weight to it. It's a palm stone, so it's perfect for fitting in someone's palm. So that probably helped too. But just as soon as I picked it up, I felt really relaxed. And I felt a little bit of a tingling in my hand, which was the first sign that I thought, oh, I really need to have this crystal. And then as I brought it home and I started researching the properties of it, it started to make sense to me. And I hope that I'm going to bring a little bit of that to you here today. The first thing is always using, again, your intuition to pick the crystals that resonate to you. So any crystal could actually work for developing your intuition. They all have that grounding property. It's one with the earth. They come from the earth. And there's that very, very heavy earth energy that they all carry. I encourage you on your journey to take that into account when you're looking and picking things out for things and tools that are going to help you with your own development. So I got the crystal, I felt something, and then I had already had my first intuitive hit by that point. So I was starting to connect with my intuitions, and I was starting to learn and develop the method that I teach, but I hadn't gotten to the point where I was tapping in, tuned in all the time. So that night I was relaxing and I had cleared the energy from the rock with using sage, and I put it on my nightstand and I was reading a book, I think. And all of a sudden, I started to get these crazy intuitive images coming in, again, my imagination, which is how it most often shows up for me. And I was getting downloads about things that I needed to keep in mind. And I started putting some other symbols that were coming through my intuition and downloads that I had been getting and synchronicities that I had been getting over time together. And all of a sudden, it was like lightning bolts, connection, 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 where things started to come together. And that was the point where I started to really understand the power that crystals have. I'm just going to share 3 different crystals. I'm going to show you which one I think is the best for your intuition and psychic abilities. So today, though, I have pictured is this beautiful geode type amethyst. I have labradorite. It's hard to see with my ring light how beautiful this is. And I have lapis lazuli, and this is bright blue. Again, it's really hard to see how gorgeous this is with this light here. All three of these specific crystals are really great for intuitive and psychic abilities, and we'll talk about which one is the best as we go through. So amethyst, I love this as a healing stone. This one also will help you tune in your energies to your intuitive and psychic spiritual abilities. But I prefer this one for healing, for a sense of calm and relaxation and self-awareness. This is a really good crystal for a general purpose to carry it around with you. And I have gone through lots of periods in my life where I am just very drawn to amethyst. And then my lapis. Sometimes people just shorten it to lapis. This one came in a set of a bunch of different rocks, so it's very small and easy to carry. Lapis is one of the most spiritually charged crystals you will find, and there's lots and lots of information about how this can help you with your skill development. However, the one crystal I feel like is the most supercharged for intuition and spiritual development is the labradorite. This is sometimes called the magic stone, and just picking one up, and I encourage you to do so, I want you to notice how it feels in your hand and how it feels in your body, which leads me to how you can use crystals to develop those skills. Number one, I recommend meditation. If you haven't checked out my video on the importance of meditation for developing your intuition and psychic abilities, I will post that in the description for you. Do not miss that episode because it is really important and it is essential. It doesn't get you to the point where you're using your intuition every single time, because you need to have a method and pair it with practice along with meditation, but it's really important. And so when you meditate with a crystal, now you could do it with it by your side, you could do it with the crystal in your hand, or you can place it somewhere on your body. When I first started using crystals, I would start with putting it on my third eye like this. Of course, I would be sitting in my recliner, which is where I like to meditate because I'm at a partial incline there. So I am relaxed. I'm not this rigid up and down, but I'm not so laying so far back that I feel like I'm going to fall asleep. And so for here, this is really good for opening your third eye, getting that clairvoyance supercharged. The other place that might make sense for you to meditate is on your heart. There's a very important heart and mind coordination that happens during intuitive and psychic development. And this crystal on your heart could help open it up and build that connection, which again supercharges that intuitive and psychic development. You could hold it in your hand. You could hold it wherever. It's also a really good opportunity to use your intuition to understand where on your body in that specific moment is good for your development and for the intention that you have to use it. Crystals are also really good at holding intentions and helping you realize whatever that intention is. So I use crystals for manifestation. Now, I would pick with my intuition, now that I am fully in tune with my intuition all the time and I know exactly what my intuition is telling me, I use the crystal as a manifestation tool all the time. This will also help you if you set the intention to develop your intuition and psychic abilities to the next level. If you set the intention and put the energy into the crystal and then you carry it with you, and again, you'll need to understand where in your body you should carry it. Sometimes I have worn a pouch that my sister made me and put the crystal in it, and it carries it right over my heart. I've put it in my pocket, of course. I've worn it in my bra, put it in my shoe, my sock, wherever my intuition is telling me to carry that crystal. I have done that and seen amazing results. And the last way that you can use the crystal is when you sleep. Put it under your pillow with the intention for your intuition and psychic abilities to open up, and you will see how it will guide you the right teachers are going to show up, the right people, the right videos, the right books, everything you need to develop those skills are going to start showing up in your life. And I think you're going to find that you're going to be surprised with how well the crystal is going to help you. If you haven't already downloaded my free ebook, you should definitely check that out now. You can get the link in the description, everything you need to know in the description for taking your intuition and psychic development to the next level. And I would love to know what crystals you are drawn to and what you have found helpful in your own spiritual journey. And if you haven't checked out my video on signs and symbols from the universe and how to understand what they're telling you, make sure you check that out here.